because if they had wanted to create problem, they could have created chaos, cantankerousness that could have marred the election in one way or the other. By now, we'll be hearing about talks, unleashing mayhem, unleashing all manner of arson to electorate to intimidate them, to make sure that they did not vote where they feel that they don't have stronghold. And secondly, we must also comment INEC. INEC improved quite a lot. If not for the improvement, there would have been disruption in some polling units. You can imagine if some beavers machines were not working and where people had queued up to vote, there would be disruption. Before you know it, there could be kind of fights or arguments and all that. And then the electorates. So every body, as far as this election is concerned, played one role or the other to ensure the peaceful conduct. And it's interesting to know that no single person lost his life. And it's amazing that places where we thought that we are security concerned had election without any disruption. Or Sumohu, Iseke, Lilu, Mbosi, even Obolo Isiuzo, Asia, these places, I viewed their results on IREV. I was marveled. They had results uploaded in real time. And for these areas where we've had insecurity, the activities of unknown government, to have such a peaceful conduct, it tells you a lot about the general conduct of the election. So far, the people, we must commend them because they played the major role, followed by INEC and the security personnel, the candidates. They also played a wonderful role leading to the peaceful conduct of this election.
Okay, so what about the swiftness with which the result was announced? Because some of us were projecting that the result might be announced between 9 and 10 a.m. But when I woke up this very morning by 3:30, they had already announced result of 2 to 3 local government areas, and by 5 p.m., result of 19 local government areas had been announced. Before they now took 1 hour break and came back by 6 and announced the remaining 2 local government areas before declaration was made and return made. So let's talk about that swiftness and also the upload on IRA, because by the time I left the office, about 8% of the polling unit result had been uploaded to the IRA. But by 7:20 p.m., 98% of polling unit results were already on IRA. People were viewing the result and then trying to compare it with what was being done at the collation center. After this very short break, we're going to bring in an external observer. We take her report, then come back to the studio and do this very analysis. Stay with us.
The countdown is over. Anambra decides 2025 is here.
Omorige, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Vice Chancellor, University of Benin, hereby certify that I am the returning officer for the 2025 Anambra State governorship election held on 8th day of November 2025. I also certify that the election was contested and that the winner emerged. The candidate with the highest number of votes cast and percentage have all been computed. I therefore declare that Soludo Charles Chukuma of the APGA, I will satisfy the requirement of the law and score the highest number of votes in this election, is hereby declared the winner and returned elected.
The countdown is over. Anambra decides 2025 is here.
Okay, thank you for staying tuned to the Radio 104.7 FM. We are bringing you a special broadcast on Anambra gubernatorial election. The result has been announced, and the incumbent governor and the candidate of ABGA, Professor Chukuma Soludo, has been returned. He polled a good number of votes to defeat all the candidates in that very election. And we are looking at the analysis on this very platform. My name is Frank Nibk, and I have a panel here with me. I have Mr. Lloyd Shosata, a journalist and the Southeast Chairman of Civil Liberty Organization. I also have a barrister, Ugunnade. He's here. Likewise, Dr. Nois and Becky, all of us are together on this very platform, trying to make sense out of what transpired. Now, we are going to be joined on phone by Safia Bichi of Yaga Africa. She's the head of learning and management. She's going to talk to us about what they found out from that very election. Yeah, hello, Safia.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for joining us today on this very program.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so YEG Africa deployed observers for this election and also deployed their usual electronic system of tabulating results. So can you tell us what you found out from this very election and what your observers returned from the field?
Okay, thank you so much. So the elections was quite peaceful, and we've seen a lot of people going out and exercising their consent peacefully. But what we've also seen is that the election results announced by INEC falls within the estimate of our sample, because Yaga Africa deploys the PRVP, which allows you to tabulate results from polling units and make estimates of the turnout. And we've also seen that yes, the election happened peacefully, but there was massive high level of vote buying in some instances. And we've also seen that yes, security agents were deployed, that were professional, but we've also seen inconsistency in the deployment of the security agents. For instance, if you say you're having two officers in a polling unit, let there be two. If it is three, but there are places you see one, some two, some seven, some 10. So it's not inconsistent in terms of their deployment. That's one. On the other hand, we've seen observers act personally, and we've also seen inconsistency in application of the election day guidelines. Specifically to say that there are instances where you see people, they are first of all authenticating before verifying your card reader, while in other places you see verification for authenticating the card reader. There should be process flow. INEC has a process flow in terms of based on its guidelines. And we've also seen the situation that at the start of the election, there are people that are more of learning. So it shows that there's a training problem, and this is where we also encourage INEC to pin their searchlight on how effective is this training. And INEC has to have people out and selection. They said they plan for and train with people on the reserve in case people drop out before time. But again, what is the quality of the training to also avoid this? The process and the system must be followed, and it must be the same throughout the polling unit in an election. So these are some of the issues. But in terms of the election, it was relatively peaceful. The turnout for the INEC turnout set 21.35%, which falls within an estimate. The EGA projected that the turnout will not be less than 20.3%, or will not be more than 22.9%, which shows that the turnout election was okay. Rejected ballots was at 1.0%, as stated. All the APC, ABGA, specifically, the results by INEC fell within the estimate of our results.
Okay. So can we say that, according to Yaga, that the result of the election is credible?
We cannot use the word credible, but in terms of the result falls within within our estimate. But you know that credibility of election goes beyond results. Credibility of election starts even from the pre-election environment. There That's why we're saying that actions and activities such as vote buying undermines the credibility of an election, no matter how credible it is. So I'll not use the word credible or not credible. I'll just state what and what did not go well.
Okay, so is Yaga Africa recommending anything that can be done to handle this challenge of vote buying, which is now becoming like a national anthem?
Yeah, I think this is the time call to citizens to party, because if political parties invest in voter education, and not just voter education, in invest in voter education and voter mobilization, this will be better. And apart from that, even government, the quality of government, because people have lost the system, they feel like this is the opportunity to get the full quota, which is not even enough. And this undermines the legitimacy of the election. It's for us to sit and tackle this, but the real potentials are the political parties. And so, we encourage political parties to desist from that, and citizens to also understand the effect of that. That's why post-election it's difficult for citizens to hold their electors accountable. So these are we should not continue in this direction. It's becoming a norm, but the norm that the narrative we should not allow to persist. Not just a narrative, but an act that should not persist in our electoral system.
Okay, thank you, Safia Bichi, Head of Knowledge Management and Learning, Yaga Africa. Thank you for speaking with us this very morning. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we have to return to the studios here. And now that we have returned, let's talk about some of the things that worked and what did not work. For you, Mr. Loy, you were in the field too. So for you, from what you saw in the field, what worked well, what did not work well? What do we need to build on? What do we need to improve on?
Well, yes, I was in the field. I went around. In fact, I covered about 8 local governments yesterday because I was mobile. And it's unfortunate that at this time, when we are supposed to have gone far in digitalization, in the 21st century technological advancements, Nigeria still grapples with certain technical issues that we can overcome. Starting from card reader stuff to this beavers, they will tell you that everything has been
glitch.
That is, but we keep repeating. I felt so bad. I was at a polling unit at Magazine Avenue yesterday, and in that time, I saw at least 15 prospective voters. These are people who collected their voters card newly. They had a glittering voters card and they were excited that they want to vote. Do you know that beavers couldn't accredit any of them? They couldn't capture their face, he couldn't capture their fingerprint. And the people working at the were in a dilemma, as in, do we allow them to now vote even when we know that their names are in the voters register? Quite alright. What will be the implication if we allow them to vote without accreditation? These are issues that we still grapple with. Why should they be so? For crying out loud. So those things we can do much better. Then talking about vote buying, it's a terrible, it has come like a cankerworm eating deep into the system, and I don't even see any solution in sight. Because what I saw also yesterday is a situation whereby Nigeria has happened to everybody, that even those who are supposed to be the watchdog and what have you, everybody is looking for his own. I saw some ICPC and EFCC officials who were drafted in the field to make sure that they grab these people buying votes. And in a particular local government headquarters where I met them, they were interested in meeting the local government chairman to settle them for their own. This is what I saw practical.
Yes. So are you saying that
I, as a journalist also who is in the field, was working. And I must tell you also that when I checked that, I fueled my car with about 40,000 naira, and the office didn't give me any money for that.
You also look for the local government chairman. Let me know.
You have to Nigerianize yourself.
You also want to meet the government chairman.
Exactly. And let him know that you are around.
So you see, that is the Nigerian system happening to us. That we continue to fester like an open sore. So it's a terrible situation.
Okay, let me hear from Barrister Wunadi on that same question on what worked, what did not work, what do we need to work on if we're going to improve on our electoral system.
I think we should first of all work on our individual psyche,
Yes, sir.
our attitude to this thing called politics. I happen to belong to the Pirates Confraternity. Before the election, we did a campaign in Onitsha here against vote buying. But most of the persons we made, they were asking us, are you with the money here that I'm ready to sell my vote? Are you with the money here? I was trying to convince one woman. The woman told me, lawyer, I am ready to sell my vote. And it actually played out yesterday. There was vote buying. Every polling booth you go, they are buying this vote openly. 10,000, 5,000, 3,000. It depends on the bargaining power of the voter. To my chagrin, in a particular polling booth, I wouldn't mention the name, a clergyman of the Anglican denomination and a lawyer at the same time came and insisted, I will not vote until I am given money. The man selling buying the vote was telling him, this money is exhausted though. Can you take 3,000? He said somebody of my status will take 3,000. That if you don't give me 5,000, I am not voting, I am living here. And during the campaign, the governor made a very reckless statement. I must have to say that every word that gets a high number of votes will have this amount of money, which demonstrates to everybody largely that the governor actually is interested in buying these votes. Yes. And if you are an incumbent and your interest is to buy that vote, you are also demonstrating to the people that we did not work, that we don't trust that your work will deliver you. Then these other political parties, even though they were not serious, I heard that white people started the vote buy with 10,000. Before 9 o'clock, they've exhausted their purse and they ran away. So Africa had a field day buying votes. And coming to the technicalities of this technical glitch, this electronic voting, we are not yet serious with it. How can we imagine that 15 prospective voters with voters card will come? Their name is in the register.
Particular polling
is their name is in the register, and they cannot vote. If any of look at the danger there. If any of them is a contestant in this election, and he cannot even vote for himself, so why can't we get this is correct? Electronics technology 2 + 2 is always 4, unless we are doing something unusual. So until we change our psyche about this, our attitude about vote buying, no election can be said to be credible. When you ask the Yaji woman whether this election is credible, he said no. I don't use the statement credibility. I attach the statement word credibility to this election recklessly because yes, there is somebody won who ordinarily could have won even without vote buying. But there was vote buying and everybody thought there was vote buying. Police were also aiding the vote buying. If you give them the money, they will look the other way and vote buying will continue. In the polling booth everywhere. They were not hiding it. They will hide the money in polythene bag. So we are writing name. And this vote buying thing, a vote is supposed to be a private thing between you, your conscience, and whoever you are voting for. But this vote buyers, you will vote and you raise up your vote, your ballot paper to show them that you voted for them before they can give you that money. Until we change our psyche. Because the danger there is this. If we don't change our psyche and keep selling our vote, the cabals, those in power will remain in power. The last House of election in Onitsha here, there was a slogan they were canvassing that time. Now 20,000 telus 2. Do you understand? And that's why they were buying this vote for 20,000. Sunday morning, 20,000 was everywhere. And they gas and they go. So we don't live with the electorate. Don't think beyond the day of the election. An average Nigerian should think beyond the day of the election and think about the next 4 years and how it will affect you. No, brother, 20,000 telus 2. Okay, eat your suit or that Sunday. I mean, it's exhausted today.
Okay, Tony, so you on that same question about how the election was managed, election management. That's what I want to look at now, from deployment of logistics to other things, and then the turnout we saw yesterday. on this platform, we talked about the number of collected PVCs, and we said Anambra recorded 98 point something percent of PVC collection. On the election day, people didn't come out to use the PVC to do what they're supposed to do. Rather, maybe they chose to do any other thing, and we recorded 21% turnout from what INEC has put out now. So you talk about election management. How was it managed? Was it managed properly? If we failed in any way, what can we do to improve the system to make it better?
Let me answer your questions and also make certain reactions to what our two brothers have said. One, let's begin with management of the election, which was the question you asked. First, the election partly, we wouldn't say it was 100% properly managed. I cited the issue of logistics and the functionality of beavers. I cited these two things as consigned, and at the same time the conduct of election workers, the ad hoc staff, and also the security personnel. So these are people you look at their conduct, their service, and then arrive at whether election in general was properly managed or not. Like yesterday, we saw improvement, no doubt, but there are still comma in some areas. Let's begin with the logistics problem. Some vehicles broke down on the road. That was why some materials, election materials, arrived so late at different polling units, and we interviewed some of them even on air. And some say that even some of these drivers, before they could come back to the rack to take up these election materials, some had issues with their vehicles, like Fadigo Hall in Mpo, where we are told that the materials have not departed as when due. And we also got the update that finally it was as a result of the breakdown of the vehicle. And to curb this, I recommended that we should not make do of roadside transporters. Let's go for transporters that have surname. We have big transporters in this country. You want me to call their names? I won't advertise for them, but they have surnames. Many of them have Sienna buses. We are told that the number of buses deployed for this election, we are about 2,000 plus. Some of these transport companies, if you contract 5 or 6 of them, they will render that service with a good vehicle, or vehicles that are much more better than what we saw. That is what, because I saw the videos where these vehicles were departing, you can see some smokes coming out from them, and you can imagine if these vehicles will get to their destination. INEC cannot keep making this mistake. You can't tell me you engage the National Union of Road Transport Workers, the National Union of Aburu, to conduct such an election where you have transport companies that are delivering service based on integrity. That is one. Then on the issue of the ad hoc staff, there was an incident I settled yesterday. Do you believe that there was some ad hoc staff that misplaced result sheets? They took result sheet meant for another polling unit in place of the one meant for their own polling unit. And I interviewed them yesterday. There was a chaos and I have to intervene. When I asked the call member what happened, the call member said my SP or my SPO was the one that handed this thing to me on the thoughts and conditions that these things were perfect. And I told the call member who was the PO, when you go to the polling unit, did you make any attempt to inspect the materials in line with the area you are? She said no. I said you made a mistake and you must admit a mistake. Your SPO handed these things to you. You allow voting to even start without checking your materials, inspecting your materials.
Because the guideline says that before election starts, the presiding officer must open all these materials before the people, inspect them, show the people, show that everything is complete.
I don't know the kind of orientation given to these ad hoc staff. So I have to intervene because the voters accosted her that she will not go anywhere unless that she brings the result sheet and enter their votes. Yes. And she said she was calling the person who was holding that from the platform. She has identified who was holding the result sheet meant for that polling unit, but the person was not picking. And the voters, we are going chaotic. I have to calm everybody down. Even the driver was saying that I was not even paid to go this way, go this way. because the driver has taken them. In fact, the driver yesterday had taken them where he wanted to pick other, polling staff for them to go to the local government. So I said to that. So you can imagine the conduct of some staff. So even the security personnel, I won't take so much time. So we can do better in some of these places, and at the same time, compliance. I said the other time, if INEC has a compliant unit, they should have not a monitoring unit.
Yes.
To ensure that what the staff, the ad hoc staff, everybody, what everybody is told to do, there is a call, because they must be calling them to ask questions, check this, check that, give us report of this, give us report of that, to make sure that these people are doing what they're supposed to do. We don't have that. So it's one thing INEC should also do.
Yeah, there's usually a training before. There's usually a training before they are deployed to the field.
Training.
But the issue is how to do actually
Apart
carry
from
out what
that,
they are
you
from
can
the
give
training.
somebody training, but if you don't have a compliance system to check if that person is executing what he has been trained, you are going to miss something. That is one. Then coming back to issue of vote buying. Vote buying, we know very well, is just like you said, is a virus, is a cancer. We understand this, but I don't believe that for us to defeat vote buying, we must change our psyche. I have not seen anywhere where a group of people assemble at a time and change their psyche. It doesn't work. So if you keep waiting when we are going to change our psyche, it means that we are not serious in solving that problem.
Yes.
How do we solve the problem of vote buying? Vote buying permeates as a result of human contacts. That is one.
Yes.
If you remove human contacts, it will reduce to barest minimum. How then do we make our elections in such a way that human contacts are reduced as a way of checkmating vote buying, which the politicians they have used poverty as a weapon. So when you said you met a clergy from this denomination, you met this person, it's not by who you are or what you profess now.
Yes.
It's mostly by the circumstances around you. And some are doing this as a way of entitlement, because yesterday many voters were even the one demanding the money.
Yes.
They were the one saying, I met so many of them, they said, yes. In fact, we told them that if they don't give us anything, we are not going to vote. They told us to go and write our names. And they went and wrote their names and voted for the parties they had wanted. One is, they know the parties they want to vote,
Yes.
but they want the party to give them money.
Give them money.
I asked, they will go and meet the agent, they will be looking for the agent of the party they want to vote, and ask the agent of the party, we need money from you. Others are, we want to vote your party. They will tell them. So it means that they are not forced to vote the party. They are making demand from the party they want to vote. I witness this everywhere. So sometimes the agents, we tell them, please write your name, since you have declared you want to vote for us. They will go and write their names, expecting something in return. There are those that said, if you don't give us anything, we go home. We are not going to vote the other party, because they have not come to vote the other party that is sharing money. But they will not vote for your party because you don't want to give us money. It's your party you want to vote. So these things happened yesterday, and I discovered that most parties, the front runners, they were all guilty, no exception.
Yes.
All of them, they were all guilty. Both APC, they were all guilty. So it's all about bargaining power. Now, where I felt so disappointed was where a deputy candidate to an election, from the video we saw, allegedly, that's the word, because I'm not the court that will pronounce that this happened this way. That's why I'm minding my language. Allegedly use some core members to infiltrate fake results. And you know why people took time to look into that? Because her media aides uploaded those results showcasing that she delivered.
Yes.
So people became so much interested before the report came that some coppers, I think we saw their videos, one was beaten to a pulp, blood gushing out from the copper, that the copper brought the fake results against the wish of the people, what the people had voted in those polling units. And that was why INEC cancelled the result of those polling units, because INEC said destruction, forgery, because I looked at the cancellation form.
Tony, now that you mentioned cancellation, because that's somewhere around, I think around Bridget or thereabouts too, that INEC cancelled the result there. In fact, all the parties scored 0 in that polling unit. Now it comes to the way the election was managed.
Yeah.
Those places where there were issues, questionable results, questionable conduct, irregularities, and INEC just went for outright cancellation.
Yeah.
Without thinking about, oh, let's see how we can smuggle this. So we have not had stories of papers mutilated.
No.
Questions around, is this figure the actual figure gotten? Then another area I want to talk about is the swiftness with which polling unit results were uploaded on the IRF.
Okay.
Because this time around, I had to be checking myself, and as at 7:20 p.m. yesterday, 98.8% of the result had been uploaded.
Yeah.
If you compare it to what we had in the past, it could be quite a different thing. Then the issue of voter turnout too, 21%. I think
1.45.
I think you were estimating about
30%.
You didn't get to that very one.
Yeah.
I was thinking about 23. Somebody said 20. Now, if you look at our history, see that in 2013, turnout was 25.5%. In 2017, it was 20.10%. In 2021, it was 10.27.
That's the lowest.
That's the lowest. And now we have gone to 21. So the next question is now, what do we now do to be able to ensure that we get to up the ante, so that we can continue to improve the system? Because we cannot go back.
I think INEC, just like we said, I have said it many times, people don't have confidence in the system. They don't have confidence, and it's a question of building that confidence, and we can use technology to build the confidence. I have said it many times, the world has gone technologically haywire. There are countries that are making use of electronic voting. Brazil, with the population of Brazil has I don't want to talk about Western countries, even in Rwanda, in African country. But I think where we are now, remember the result uploaded in IREF. These things are meant for us to view. They are not the actual collation.
Exactly.
But where we are going to commend INEC is that what we saw on IREF was actually mostly what they collected. If they had collected any other thing, the one they collected becomes the result, not the one on IREF. So it had helped us. And he said, why was it so swift? There was instruction. They improved on the Beaver software, no doubt. Because some of the things we have pointed out earlier here, if you look at the Beavers malfunction compared to the number of Beavers deployed, you find out that it's still within the realm of 1 point something percent. That's minimal. So we don't have perfect election anywhere in the world. And I have not seen anywhere in the world where we are told that the tools for elections worked 100%. But we are looking at minimal error. So in yesterday's election, we can give it to INEC that they recorded minimal error.
So we can say that the election was an improvement from what we used to have.
Pure improvement. And
Okay.
another thing I want to say before I hang on. That election yesterday, because for you to say that election is credible, because people are dilly-dallying whether to use the word credible or not credible, or fair or not fair, it depends on interpretation. Where you bring in the vote buying, it puts a question mark when you talk about
credibility. Yes,
it puts a question mark. But we are the people are the one who have chosen, because we are the ones to vote, but they want something in appreciation. It's also another concern you have to weigh side by side. And finally, the issue, just like we have mentioned, just in area of credibility, the election of yesterday reflected the wish of the people. That's another thing. You must ask the younger African woman that question. Do you think the election yesterday reflects the wish of the people? I think it's a very important question.
All right.
Because I interviewed people on the ground, and I saw a lot of things, and for such win in every local government. In fact, in my hometown, I have to make a call because I'm from Osumu. Everybody knows that, and I know very well that insecurity was a problem. But I asked our people, was the result so declared? Yeah, which? And they said yes.
Right.
And
Okay, so let's pass the microphone to the two guests we have here. Let's also hear from them whether they think the result is a reflection of the will of the people. With that, we can now go to the phone lines and take other calls, people who might want to react about the result we have seen so far. Barrister Wunadi.
Yes. Well, saying that the result reflects the wish of the people, I don't think I will totally agree with that. Before the election, APGA have curtailed almost all reasonable groups within the state. Take for instance, most markets are not being governed, most market unions are not being governed by elected officials or executive of the market unions. They are being governed by persons appointed by government, and they control the crowd, they control the market. A lot of people that are in government, all these agencies, all these tax collectors, they are struggling for the incumbent to win, not because the someone is so love the incumbent, but to retain their gare. That is what actually played out. So the wish of the people, if you go out there, you are discussing with people, you see that a lot of people are not comfortable with what is happening in the state, but they have no option. Now, if you say reflecting the wish of the people, like Olisa said, why do you, as a governor who is sure of what you are doing, why do you deploy money to polling units? Because if you say these people were asking for money before they vote, it is because they see that there is money available in the polling units. If there is no money available in the polling units, they do not demand for money. And in our criminal jurisprudence, the receiver is punished more than the thief. Because if the thief knows that if he see my red cap, he's not a chief, he will not wear it anywhere. He will not go and see my red cap because he knows there's a market for the red cap. So he sees it and sells it in the market. So these people selling their vote know that the politicians are coming to the polling booth with money. So that's why they sell it. And then let me come again. Now, if you talk of electronic voting, I said it, electronics 2 plus 2 is always 4. If in electronics 2 plus 2 becomes 16, then somebody is telling us lie. And let us also remember that this Anambra election is an off-season election that INEC don't have much in their hands to grapple with. So you cannot use this election as a yardstick to say that INEC have improved. It is when INEC is exposed to the general election that you now see their improvement. They are supposed to get this one at least 98% correct, because it's an off-season election narrowed down to a particular state. So any mistake from INEC, I want to say is deliberate. Any mistake from INEC, I want to say is deliberate. And the system, our system here is collapsing because of our dirty mind, because of our corrupt system, because of our corrupt mind. If, like I will keep saying it, if we change our attitude to things, if we change our approach to this in money, can we imagine a reverend, a lawyer saying I will not vote because I'm giving money? And when we offer 3,000, we say, how can I take 3,000 at my status? That will be 5,000. So when you go to the church tomorrow, you start preaching. You see? So that's the problem we have in this country.
Okay. Let me hear from Aloy before you come. So Aloy, on that same question of if you think the vote reflected the wishes of the people.
Yes. Just like Goodnadi said, yes. If you this is the system we found ourselves. So it's a kind of I better go for the devil I know than the angel I don't know. If the masses had better choice or what have you on ground, they would have done otherwise. But this is the best they have at the moment, and considering others who are contesting with the incumbent and the circumstances, there is every preponderance of opinion that this is how it's going to pan out, and that's exactly what happened. And if you also talk about whether we've improved or not, I heard when you mentioned about 2021 election. I remember Facebook just reminded me about that election and I was like, this life safe, nothing is permanent. The kind of tension that 4 years ago, because of the activities of non-state actors who were shooting at random, killing people anyhow, you can't go out with branded vehicles and what have you. I remember while stepping out that day, my family had to organize a special prayer session for me.
In case we see you no more.
So these are some of the contributory factors that, because the situation is down, that is what contributed to this level. But you still see a situation whereby people are cut off from the system. I saw so many people yesterday drinking, saying that what is their business going to vote, because the government is more like a situation. it has gone to a certain level now that when a government performs what you are elected to do in the first place, the achievement will be so hyped as if to say that the person is using his personal resources to work for the people.
I tell you.
That is how we have sunk as a nation. When the person cannot even account, if there is transparency and accountability in the system, the person you are clapping for that he's performing should be in jail. Let's not pretend about it.
Okay, so I'll just take some few reactions to them.
Let me make a reaction then before we.
Okay, within 1 minute.
Yes,
1
within
minute. 1 minute.
You know, let me react to what Obunade said about the wish of the people. Yes, we have situations where maybe if I'm getting something from you or from the system, and possibly, and then I'm given an opportunity, and I do what I do because of what I'm getting for you, it's my wish. We don't understand what wish is. Because for you to enter into anything, what comes to your mind is, what would I gain from this? And if you feel there is something you will gain, that becomes your wish. So you wouldn't say because people are getting this from government, or eating gari, or being paid by government, and they voted for it. It's their wish. It ceases to be their wish when they want for another alternative and you prevent them or punish them. See, when you say that maybe the governor, you said something about the governor made a reckless statement, this and that. Yes, to a great extent. But I've had opinion, thoughts about the statement, and he came out to make clarification. People saying it was medicine after that. Why would you make such statements in the open when you know that it's a party thing? Because he came out and said it was a party thing, that every political party does it. But why did you come out in the open? And when he was asked the same question, he said that the rally was meant for our party, not for the public. But all these things we know, just like and
pressmen we are there,
and and pressmen were there too, and at the same time, coverage.
Yes.
So now the question is, in the context of that very question, I have explained this here. Even using legal principle.
Yes.
Did he contravene any law in the Electoral Act? And we looked at the Electoral Act. He said any word that comes out first in this election has a price.
He mentioned the amount.
He said the word will be given $1 million.
Yes.
That's what he said. And then in all of this, he said the word is ABGA word, not general public. And in the by-election, he said that they have been doing this before now. They have been doing it before now. And other political parties also have a way of rewarding their own based on performance. Some give appointments. They will even mention it openly, that we get appointment from those of you who comes first. And most times in the world, results are maybe performance is based on reward. Donald Trump, people that even he appointed, people that work with him, people that delivered based on one mandate or the other. So the issue is, we need to improve on our election system, bring in technology, so that we stop all these statements, whether somebody said this or this said this.
Okay, so let's take the reactions. It's going to be very, very swift and very quick. Anybody who calls in, just take a few seconds, make your reaction about the results of the election. What do you think about the result? Just give us your verdict on that, and then we'll go over to the next person. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. You can get across to us this very morning using these telephone lines. Let's get to hear from you regarding the outcome of Anambra gubernatorial election. The result is already announced, and as we have said, that the incumbent has been returned. By the way, he has made an appreciation speech, and he mentioned Mr. President saying thank you for allowing a free and fair election in Anambra State. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name?
Good morning, my speaker, Johnny Becker. I'm happy. This election is the wish of people.
Your name first.
My name is Richard Okoye from Mauritius Kingdom.
All right.
I voted yesterday. Very simple. And very man, the people who are there, very manner. They elect people. So I think the election is the thing that things for those people who say it's not just people. They contradict themselves. If government appoint Africans in market, that alone will make the people vote against the government. But they voted against the government because they love the government and are and the clear. Yes. Thank you.
All right. Okay, thank you. I like the fact that you were swift. Hello, good morning. Okay, try again. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, your name?
Good morning, gentlemen in the studio. Good morning. I'm Chaco calling you from.
Shako from Obo.
Yes.
Oh, Shako, go on.
Yes, I think there is no evidence of anything we are doing about election in this country. But as of for me, I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with the result and everything. Because here in while after I cast my vote, I go around to see whether things will go the other way. But I think it's the most better election in Anambra State for now. For now. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Shako from Obo. Thank you for joining. Who do we have here? Good morning. Okay. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. You can get across to us using any of these telephone lines. What do you think about the result of the election? Hello, good morning.
My name is Comrade Watchman.
Okay, go on.
Thank you very much. The result reflect the wish of the people. That's just the simple thing about it. And one thing I have to say about the INEC is they improved in early arrival of materials. I was to my visit around the 9. You go there, you vote, you go and sit down, you go to go and sit down. So they improved on early arrival of materials. And people who lost their voter's card were able to vote because they go to the where they tested all the things. You identify your picture, you go, you are accredited, and you vote. But one thing I discovered yesterday is the two major political parties, their agents gave them money which they used to buy voters in my home belief. The two major political parties, both of them, they were paying people from 5,000 to 10,000 to go and vote. To go and vote for their candidate.
Okay.
But in all
right.
It reflects the wish of the people.
All right.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. Hello, good morning. All right. Okay, try again so that let's see where we'll be able to connect to the phone line. Hello. Okay. 0803-221-6973 0803-827-6694. I think one of the lines seems to be a bit faulty. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good morning. Your name?
Yeah, good morning.
All right.
My name is Obiatru Nana Christian, known as Mr. Lutraga. I am calling from Onitsha.
Go on, Mr. Biatwegun.
Yeah, the issue of the election, what you said, I'm so happy that Mr. Governor called 21/21 because he has done well for India Anambra. People came out in a mass because if you think about 2021, if you can remember, we couldn't come out because of insecurity, but this time people came in mass because in some certain places in Anambra, issue of security is mine. And another one, in some roads, in some parts of Anambra, their roads are not good, but the governor fixed the road. That was why people are happy to vote him in again. So I am very, very happy because he scored 21/21. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining. 0803-221-6973 or 0803-827-6694. After this very call, we are going to bring you something. Hello.
Good day, sir.
Yes.
Mr. Franklin.
Yes. Good morning. Your name?
My name is Chukwemeka from Obuko.
Go on, Chukwemeka.
I thank God I voted for Apuga.
Yes, we're listening.
I thank God for my life that I voted for Apuga. Solution of God has come. Thank God in Jesus' name.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Okay. Let's see who we have next before we get to bring you that very reaction from the governor, where I can call that his acceptance speech and at the same time appreciation speech for people of Anambra State. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name?
My name is Mecca. I'm calling from Onitsha.
Mecca from Onitsha, go on.
Yes. I want to thank God for the landslide victory of His Excellency, Tukuma Soludo, the governor of Anambra State. He has done very well, marvelously well. He's a great man. It's one of the best things that has happened to Anambra State. So, I am not surprised he won landslide. There's no other better person, no other better candidate. In fact, there was no opposition, if you ask me. There was no opposition.
All right.
But none of them can match him in any way.
All right.
So
Thank you.
performance, it was wonderful. You can imagine a governor that was doing federal.
Are you still there? Okay. I think we're also taking note. We have noted your reaction. Thank you for calling. So let's quickly hear from the governor before we get to wrap up today's special program on Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Stay with us.
The countdown is over. Anambra decides 2025 is here.
I just come out to say thank you to all of you and to the Anambra and to Nigerians. Well, this is a moment to say congratulations to the Anambra. You have spoken. 4 years ago, you spoke. You gave us your mandate. And then, of course, Anambra experimented the first time with beavers in that election. Extremely very low turnout. You elected us with 112,000 votes. In this one, you spoke loudly. This election and this victory is not just victory. It is history made. Big history. Because in the history, we're very humbled by this, being a show of solidarity, show of support, and your very emphatic statement that you stand with us. We applied for this job. You employed us 4 years ago, and we were sworn in probably three and a half years ago. And all I can say to you, like we said throughout the campaign, is that you haven't said anything yet. Well, look at the results. Well, the gratitude to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, President Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR, for being a very true Democrat. He's demonstrated very firmly, he said so severally, that all mean to guarantee free, fair, transparent election. And so we commend you and thank you, Mr. President, for being a very true Democrat and realizing we are in a true multi-party democracy. Let the votes count, and the people spoke loudly here in Anambra. To the Independent National Electoral Commission, I must very specifically thank you, and thank in particular the new INEC chairman, Professor Joash Ojo Amopitan, SAN.
Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Seriously authentic.
Okay, so you heard from the governor of Anambra State in his acceptance speech, and also he thanked a couple of persons, or you can say a couple of stakeholders and actors in that election, and he also thanked people of Anambra State for giving him their votes once more. So we're out of time now, and we have to wrap up. So you just have 30 seconds each for you to make your final submission, and I begin with you, Tony Olisambeki.
I think I must thank Indian Anambra, at least, for showing Nigeria how peaceful we are. We saw off-cycle election in Kogi State. It was violent. We saw an off-cycle election in Bayelsa State. It was violent. We saw an off-cycle election in Osun State. It was disrupted in a way that even one of the candidates started alleging quite a lot of things. We've seen different off-cycle elections in Nigeria. For me, so far, this is the best off-cycle election we've had in terms of peaceful conduct. None of the candidates had come out to say my people were intimidated, my supporters were harassed, my supporters were prevented from voting. They didn't make such statements. So kudos to Indian Anambra for what happened yesterday.
Okay, let me hear from Barrister Ugo Gunnadi. Just in few seconds.
It's all right. I must first of all thank one of the governorship candidates. I think the governorship candidate of ADC. People were preventing on him to bring money, otherwise he lose his fully. He said he's not going to bring any money. Let him lose. So I'm commending his action. If all of us will be thinking that way, I also thank Anambarians. They weren't violent at all in this election. And before the election, the tension was relatively high. But when the election came, it was very, very peaceful and violent-free. I thank Anambra. They demonstrated wisdom. They demonstrated respect for human life.
Okay. And then from you, Mr. Loy.
Yes, the people have spoken, and that their voice must be respected. The state must move forward. That is why it's important also to handle post-election crisis, because you will not know somehow, somewhere, what somebody may be up to. So we have to move forward, and it's a call for the governor to also assess what he has been doing so far, areas he needs to improve and make it better, so that really by the time he completes this second tenure, Anambra might have really risen to a certain level where is actually the light of the nation.
Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Lucius, a journalist and Southeast Chairman of Civil Liberties Organization (CLO), and also Barrister Ugo Gunnadi, a legal practitioner. Thank you for joining. Tony Zambeki, also thank you for being around.
Thank you,
my name is Franklin Ebuka, and I thank you for staying with us for this very special broadcast. Tomorrow we're going to return with the Polity, but we have other programs lined up for you today, so you stay glued to Udala Radio 104.7 FM. Of course, Aligo Mom is going to be here on Sunday Rise. All right. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Thank you, Franklin.
Within the song, and I wish I could teach a soul to fly. Take away the pain out your hands and help you hold them high. And I wish my homie Butch was still alive, and on the day of his death we had never took that ride. And I wish that God could protect us from the wrong, so that all the soldiers that were sent overseas come home. And we will never break, though they devastate. We shall motivate, and we gotta pray. All we gotta stay, instead of thinking about who gon' die today, the Lord is gon' help you feel better, so you ain't gotta cry today. Sit at the light so long, and then we gotta move straight forward, cause we fight so strong. So when right go wrong, just say a little prayer, get your money, man, life goes on.
I'm hopeful, yes I am hopeful for today. Take this music and use it, let it take you away. And be hopeful, hopeful, and he'll make a way. I know it ain't easy, but that's okay, cause we hopeful.
I wish that you could show some love, instead of hating so much when you see some other people coming up. I wish I could teach the world to sing, write some music and have them tripping off the joy I bring. I wish that we can hold hands, listen instead of dissing lessons from a grown man. And I wish the families that lack but got love get some stacks, brand new shot in the lap, that's on dubs. And I wish we could keep achieving wonders, see the vision of the world through the eyes of Stevie Wonder. You feel me? And I hope all the kids eat, and don't nobody in my family see 6 feet. You dig? I hope the mother stand strong. You can make it whether you with them or your man's gone. And I wish I could give every Sally some conversary, and a popo bring the heat on a piece like that did R. Kelly. And I wish that DOC could scream again, and bullets could reverse and Pac and Biggie breathe again. then one day they can speak again. I wish that we only saw good news every time we look at CNN. I wish we could never get the blues. Wish I could bring back the people that died at E2. I wish that we could walk the path, stay doing the right thing, hustle hard so the kids maintain up in the game. Let's go.
Hopeful, yes I am hopeful for today. Take this music and use it. Let it take you away